Hey guys, it's Kat and I am back today with a highlighter review. Not review, swatch video, demo, you know, that kind of thing. But anyway, this is the new highlighters from Kaleidos Makeup. So you will know them from their eyeshadow palettes, and they then release brushes. And this is the first time they've done highlighters. Now I have not seen what's in the box. What's in the box, but they did send me the whole pack. So I know there's 6 of them. I can run through the prices in a second, but let's open the box. All right, opening the box. And we've got a little note, which is very cute. The team at Kaleidos are very lovely, and I like that they send me stuff to try because I find their stuff really exciting. Their eyeshadow palettes, I've done 2 reviews before, and they're cool palettes. Ooh, look, extra. So I've got some brushes in here. So they did release brushes maybe a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, and these are the brushes. Oh, handy. There's eyeshadow brushes, and it looks like a highlighter brush, which is very handy for today's video. Thank you very much, Kaleidos. And that explains what this bag was doing in the parcel. I was like, I got a random bag. But it looks like that is the brush holder bag. So these are the shadow brushes, which are like S1 to S5. So I assume for shadow. So I really like these shapes. We've got fluffy, we've got sort of more of a flat one. They're not too dense, but they do feel nice and soft. So those are the shadow brushes. And then this is the H1, which I'm going to assume is the highlighter brush. So I may as well use that one today. Once again, nice and soft. So they're very, very sturdy with their packaging. So we have 2 little bubble wrap parcels within the box, and the box was wrapped in this, which was then wrapped in this. So they really do make sure everything is safe and sound. All right, so these are the boxes of highlighters. I will show you close-ups in a sec, but I really love the packaging. So they've got these sort of cool geometric sort of space sort of themes, and they've got cool names like Skywalker, Ray Rider, Star Surfer. Again, I'll show you close-ups in a second, but all of these are colored highlighters, so the boxes sort of reflect the color of the highlighter. So very quickly, the highlighters retail for $14 each. There's 6 shades available, or you can buy the whole set for $76. So that's in US dollars. All right, before I show close-ups of each shade and then destroy them by swatching them, not quite, but destroy the pan design, maybe. Let's talk about the packaging a bit. So they come in these boxes. So the highlighter itself comes in this tin. It's quite a chunky tin. It implies that it's quite large, but I did open it, have a look before, and it's a lot smaller than it actually sort of looks. There's a lot of wasted space in this, which some people don't mind, other people don't like. But this is sort of like a rubberized finish. It's just a paint though. So unlike NARS packaging, which is like a soft touch plastic or rubber sort of packaging, this is what feels like a metal tin that's got a rubberized paint finish on it. It does have some raised parts, and I have seen as well on slight parts of the design the paint has already started coming off. So this is not one that you'd chuck in your handbag. It will, I think the paint will start rubbing off, but that's what it looks like. Inside, you just open it up. There's a little clasp closure, and you can see that there's no mirror in it, which you don't need for a highlighter. And that's the highlighter there. So it's got a little protective layer on it at the moment. So I'll just lift that up. And you can see that it's a circle highlighter, and I will zoom in later so you can see, but it does have a geometric design on it that matches the design on the packaging, which is kind of cool. I did want to point out as well that these are cruelty-free and vegan, and the weight of the actual highlighter is 3 grams. So it's pretty much the size of maybe 2 eyeshadow pans, roughly, like traditional size eyeshadow pans. So it's enough to get a lot of use out of, but they're not they make it look sort of quite large, but it's not as large as the tin looks. So let's go through the shades. Let's swatch them with a brush and finger, and then I'll chuck a few on my face because I forgot to put highlighter on today, so perfect timing. So I don't know what the actual numbers mean, but there's 3 that are like GO123, and there's like NO1, 2, 3. So we're going to go through the GOs first and then the NOs second. So the first one is Skywalker, and it's described as an incandescent aqua blue with ultraviolet undertones. Then we have Glazer, which is the green one, and it's described as being a piercingly bright green infused with rose gold. Solar Sailor is the yellow toned one, and it is described as a sleek and radiant satin gold. So this looks like it's sort of got a white base with a gold, yellow gold shift. The next is Comet Catcher. This is the pink one, and it's described as a silky fluorescent fuchsia with a peach veneer. This one looks really cool. So they're promoting this one a lot online. Star Surfer is probably one of the more wearable options for people that don't like colored highlighters. This is described as a smooth, rosy champagne with silver undertones. And the last one is Ray Rider. This is a velvety champagne sheen with a trace of peach. All right, let's start with finger swatches. And these are the first three. So the blue, the green, the yellow. Look how pretty they look. They look so much prettier in person, but let's swatch them. So I'm going to turn the brightness down quite a bit so we can hopefully see it a bit better. But that's the blue. This one's gorgeous because it's like a sparkly with no base color. It'd make for a really nice eyeshadow as well. Then we have the green, which has that same sort of really soft, sparkly finish. This one has more of a tan base, but it's very, very pretty. I think on camera, it's looking a little bit more yellow than green, but definitely is green. It reminds me of one of the Jeffree Star highlighters. I can't think of it off the top of my head. Then we have the yellow, which is a little bit more of a sheen rather than a sparkle, but it's got barely any base color, a bit of a cool base, and then a really nice sort of yellow shift. Okay, we've got the pink one, which is that fuchsia. This is very pretty. It's very pink. I'm going to turn the ISO down a lot more, but I might build that one up so we can see it a bit better, but it's very, very pink. See how this builds, if it builds the color a bit. Like, I can see the pink, you can't see it on camera, but I'll turn the ISO down soon. This is that sort of champagne rosy shade. Very, very pretty. It looks very neutral. It does have a bit of what looks like maybe gold and pink dimension to it, but it definitely looks more your traditional sort of silvery highlight. And then we have the peach one here. Oh, this is a lot different than I was expecting. So I'll build that up a little bit. I was expecting this one to be a peach version of this one, but in reality, it just looks like a nice warm nude highlighter. So this looks like a warm nude. This looks like a cool nude. I have noticed that there's different finishes here. So that one's quite sparkly, sparkly, sparkly. And then these ones are more satin-y or more smoother application. So yeah, there's a bit of variety here. And I've just turned down the ISO so you can hopefully see it a bit better. So the blue shift, the green shift, the yellow shift, pink, that sort of rosy, silvery champagne, and that sort of orangey warm shade, which is really pretty. All right, now I'm going to swatch them all with this brush and wipe it off on a color switch in between. So I'll do 3 at a time. All right, we're starting with the blue, and it picks up very nicely on the brush, and you can see it gives that sort of shimmery topper glitter effect, which is very pretty. It also worked really nicely as an eyeshadow. It reminds me of the same sort of finish as the Jeffree Star Supreme Frost highlighters, so a little bit like a micro glitter that's very pretty. Now we're going the green. This is what I'm really excited for because I actually love a green with a tan base. If you've got a bit of a tan, this looks so pretty, and this is pretty. You can definitely see it's got more of a deeper base compared to the other one that's got no base, but it's really not super dark. If you've got a bit of a tan or a bit of bronzer, you can definitely make that one work. It's also that sparkly texture. Then we've got the yellow that is more of a sheen rather than a sparkle. So let's just get that one on. You can see the color looks a lot more even. Hopefully you can see that on the camera. So it looks a lot more, yeah, a lot more even, a little bit less sparkly. I might build it up a tiny bit. Let's build it up here a little bit more. These can get a lot more intense in color because they are a lot more sort of flat colored. There you go. This one has that cool base, so it looks almost like a white blue base, tan base, no base. You can see that there. But if you do shear this out a lot more, you won't see that white sort of cast. All right, onto the pink one, and this is similar to the yellow where it's a more smooth finish rather than a sparkle, and that pink is very intense. I'll have to turn down the brightness a bit, but it's very intense in person. It's hard to see it on camera. I might do a little bit more to see if we can build that up, but that's very pink. There we go. Now for the rosy champagne silver that does have that sparkly finish. This is really pretty. Probably too cool tone for me personally, but I think a lot of people would love that. And it looks a lot more sort of multi-dimensional in person. I can see some pinks and some golds happening, but on camera it just sort of looks silver, but it's very pretty. All right, last one is the peach, but I see this as being more of a champagne nude. So this is more of a warm tone champagne. This has that sort of flat finish as well, that non-sparkly finish, and it's more of a traditional champagne with a bit of a peach base. So those are those ones. I'll just turn down the brightness a little bit so we can see that pink a lot more vibrantly. There we go. Okay, let's get up close and personal a little bit. I'll put some on my cheeks, I'll put some on my nose, I'll put some here. I might put a little bit up here, a little bit up there. Let's just highlight as much as we possibly can, shall we, so we can really demonstrate them. I also want to point out really quickly, this lip product has lasted through eating pizza for lunch. That's why I say these Too Faced Melted Mattes are fantastic. This is a shade from last holiday that I wish they brought back in a full size, Hot Buttered Rum. It's beautiful, and look, there's not much wearing and it's super comfortable. So that, I love it. I'm just reappreciating it after taking a bit of a break. All right, one shade that I really want to try is Laser Glazer. So this is the green with the tan. I do have I've got bronzer on. I've got a little bit of bronzer, so hopefully this won't look too tan on me, but I do have quite light skin. It's like a light beige, so if this works on me, it'll work on a lot of people. So here we go. Oh, sparkly. So this definitely looks like one of the Jeffree Star Supreme Frosts. There's one that's like a gold green. This reminds me of it a lot. So this is definitely diffused sparkle, so it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. I don't mind a sparkly highlighter though. And that one gives a sort of, yeah, just a little twinkle on the face. And if you step back, it looks like it's a bit of a wet look. So I think that's quite pretty. It's not one that I'd wear every day, but it is definitely pretty, and it looks a lot less scarier than in the pan. I want to contrast that with probably the most wearable one in my opinion. This is that sort of peachy warm nude. This is Ray Rider, so I'm going to try that on this side. And I've got the brightness on the camera turned down a bit, so hopefully you can catch it a lot better. And once again, I've just been wiping this brush off in between applications on this sponge thing. All right, here we go. Oh, this is very subtle. So it gives a bit of a glow, but it's super, super, super subtle. I really like that. I think that's really pretty. You can build it up if you want to. Let's build it up a bit. But this is pretty much my sort of highlighter that I like to wear because it looks like your skin but glowy. So I think I'm really happy they did one like this because it's very subtle but very pretty, and you could definitely build it up or sheer it down, but it just looks like healthy skin. All right, we're up a bit because we're going up to this territory, and I'm going in with the pink. So this one is Comet Catcher. Let's see how this pink goes. Oh, it definitely turns my skin pink. Not actually like turning my skin pink, doesn't have a base color to it, but the shift makes my skin look like it's been color corrected a little bit. I've noticed that this formula as well tends to sort of seal up a little bit, so you've got to be quite firm with it in the pan, like agitate the brush quite a bit. Okay, I'm just going to intensify it a little bit here. So you can definitely see you can build up the pink, and when you're front on there's no color, but then you catch it and there's the pink. Just for me, this almost looks like I've added like blush or something to my face, so I think I'm too fair for this type of pink. But it definitely gives you that pink effect. All right, got a bit of the yellow. This is Solar Sailor, so let's put a little bit up here, and you can see definitely gives that sort of yellow vibe as well, but it's got a cool base to it. So that almost looks a bit cool there, and then you get the yellow. So this is a bit of fun. Okay, so it look a lot more flattering here, but hopefully you can see it does give you that sort of yellow gold shift. Just gonna wipe off a little bit of that green so I can put some blue on there. You can see that pink. Okay, so in with the blue, which is similar sort of sparkly. It looks more intense than the green. This definitely gives you a lot more blue. Whoa, that's really intense. So if you want a really intense color sparkle, this blue one is the one you go for, because I really love that it's got no base color, but you get that shift. I think that's very pretty. Also going to wipe off this one a little bit and try that yellow again, because I feel like I'm not really capturing it up there. Yeah, you can see a lot better when you just put on the high points where it catches the light. This does emphasize texture because it's quite, it's not a sparkly dispersed texture. It's more of that sort of sheen, which is quite intense. So you can definitely see texture, but you can definitely see that it also gives that yellow. There is a slight cool sort of base to it, which I don't love, but it's not super noticeable. Last is Star Surfer, so that cool toned nude. I'm just going to put a little bit of that on my nose. So that's a very pretty cool tone color. So you get a really sort of, I'll put some up here as well. I don't usually put highlighter here, but you get a really pretty sort of silvery nude look to it, which is pretty. So we've got a bunch of different colors going on here. All right, so on first impressions, just after swatching them and applying them sort of subtly here and there, I do have some opinions of these because I have tried multiple like highlighters in the past. I've got collections of like dozens and dozens and dozens of them, and I have tried a lot of colored highlighters in the past. So I do quite like these. I think the price point's pretty good. I think the packaging is a bit bulky. It's fun and I like the designs, but I think for the pan that's this small, I prefer sleeker packaging because I just feel like it's easier to store. But this does sort of work with the aesthetics of Kaleidos, so I get it. I would be concerned though that if you throw these in your bag or your travel bag, the paint will scratch off. So if you're a bit precious about that, you have to just store these in a drawer. I think the range is very good. I like that they have some colors and they also have some like everyday wearable ones for people that don't want to wear blue glitter. And I also like that there's different finishes. My personal favorites from just playing with them would be probably the two more wearable ones, so the warm tone one and the cool tone ones, the one that I had here and the one that I had over here before, because I just see that this sort of peachy warm tone one is one that you can chuck on every day without thinking about it. It'll look very flattering on skin. If you're looking for something a little bit more fun, I really do like these. Sparkly highlighters aren't for everyone, but I do think they're quite fun and they're very, very effective. The blue one was definitely the most eye-catching and most like extreme highlighter out of the bunch, but it doesn't emphasize skin texture because it's that sparkle, dispersed sparkle finish. I think it's really beautiful, but just maybe go in with a light hand. I also like the green one. Even with the tan base, it doesn't really show up tan. It looks really, really beautiful. It's a little bit more subtle than the blue, a little bit more wearable than the blue, but it's still quite fun. These would also be nice eyeshadow toppers. The two that I would personally reach for the least, but they are still quite nice, are these two here. So the yellow, which is this one here, and I don't dislike the yellow. It's just that I find it to be a little bit harsh and emphasizes skin texture. Also these sort of satiny ones, so this is the pink one that was up there. They don't give a very high shine sort of glassy effect. I really like that wet look with a highlighter, but these sort of just change the color of your skin, which I don't personally love. But if you do like a pink highlighter or a yellow highlighter, these would be pretty decent. The other thing that I've noticed about these two in particular is I think with the formula, because the formula is very similar, the pans do seal up a little bit. So they end up looking a little bit messed up and you do have to really work your brush in to pick up the product. And I think it ends up looking too heavy on the skin. And I get the vibe that if this has already started sealing, it's likely to seal more. And what I mean by sealing is if you pick up product, apply it on your face, go back in, sometimes just by applying it and then going back in, it picks up oils and foundation from your face, and then that actually creates like a layer over the top that makes it hard to pick up. So I'll zoom in and show you what I'm talking about. So hopefully you can see that this is already sort of starting to form a skin over the top, which makes it harder to pick up. And that's why there's like chunks that have come out when I'm trying to like work my brush to pick it up. Now I could pick up product, no problem, but I just don't love that formula. And you can see that this one is doing the same thing. It's sort of got a bit of a skin over the top and it's looking a little bit chunky. In contrast, this is another one of the highlighters where it doesn't have that film over the top and it's much easier to pick up each time with a brush. So am I screaming the praises of these? Not quite, but I don't think these are a bad product. I just don't think they personally suit my makeup style. So lately, over the last couple of years, I prefer to inject a bit of color in my eyes or my lips. Whereas probably in like 2017, I was going crazy for the colored highlighters and I just found that I just rarely used them. The ones that I tend to use the most when it comes to highlighters are the ones that give me that sort of glow, that wet look, that natural look, and just makes my skin look really healthy. Similar to how this one sort of made my skin look just like natural glow. That's what I sort of prefer with my makeup. So this isn't targeted towards me, but I do like the variety in there. I do like the finishes, how you can choose sparkly or like a smoother finish. You can choose more of a natural look or more of a colorful look. I do like the variety here. I don't think everyone needs them all. I think it's a lot of highlighter, and it's best to probably pick out the ones that you will use the most. So me would use this, but I do think it's a fun addition to the Kaleidos Makeup range. So thank you again, Kaleidos Makeup, for sending me these. It's fun to play with, and I really do love some of the effects. Like, that's gorgeous. I'm going to take an Instagram photo later because it's very pretty. So some of them are really gorgeous. It just comes down to your personal preference. And I can't wait to put this one on my desk and use it more because I'm a basic bitch who likes the nude highlighter. All right, let me know in the comments which one you like the most. I didn't really do the pink one justice. I think it looks nicer on deeper skin. I will put a photo on the screen that's from the Kaleidos Instagram page where it showed the pink on, like, it looked beautiful. On me, it just makes me look even more flushed, which I don't need. I deal with redness. I don't need any more pinkness in my skin. So that one's a little bit scary for me, but the rest of them are really pretty. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.